Well, a day after that by-election, thanks for joining us. We're grateful that we're able to bring you some of the sight and sound of the day yesterday. But we know who the candidate is that won, and so we'll try and get to the constituency. Good morning to you, Kojo. How are you?
Good morning to you, Daddy Roro. I'm very well. And look, I've got to say, you did a fantastic job yesterday.
We all did. The coverage was okay.
In fact, most of the footage we have of the important events we're talking about today, across the nation, we have that footage thanks to you. You showed some amazing experience and mettle and bravery out there on the field while bullets were flying. You were reporting, and I've got to say, your work will live through the ages. I commend you. Well done.
Well, Methuselah is great.
Although, I have to ask you, were several rounds of ammunition fired at you, like Sam George?
Oh, there were a lot of rounds of ammunition that were being fired. I don't know about me. I particularly wasn't watching a lot of the incidents, but I know there were shots. I don't know whether they were necessarily always aimed at people, because there are a couple of people there. But there were shots, I'm sure, in the air. That one, I saw a couple.
Right. Although we know some people sustained gunshot wounds, so I guess
a lot of them.
In the end, the shots were fired at some people. Sam George says he's one of them, and you were there. So we'll talk more about it later.
Well, we also know what transpired yesterday, but ultimately, the MPP's Lydia Al-Hassan is now the member of parliament elect for the, how do you pronounce the constituency?
Ayawaso, West Wogon.
Well, today we're going to have in the studio some great analysts. They're going to help us. We already know that Sairam Al-Hassan contested on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party, had been in the pharmaceutical industry, a board member, the Minerals Commission vice chair, Pharmaceutical Importers and Wholesalers Association, and has been around the MPP for a number of times. So, well, she seems to have the credentials for it. She's now the member of parliament elect for the Ayawaso Wogon constituency.
Indeed.
Ayawaso.
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 Ayawaso. Think about Ayawa. Ayawaso.
Well, so we're bringing you the vote tallies, right?
Yesterday. We're bringing you, yes, indeed, we'll bring you a conversation about that, and we'll bring in all the stakeholders to talk about it. But of course, we know that the winner was Lydia Al-Hassan, and she was followed, well, I was going to say closely, but it wasn't really that close. Delali Brimpong came in second. And then the PPP candidate, William Dowokbo, who Roland spoke to yesterday, came in third place with 102 votes. And then finally, Clement Bwedi, bringing in the rear with 17 votes across the constituency. Well done to them for standing up to be counted.
Yeah. Right. I also see Clement Bwedi. I've now identified him. You know the gentleman from the Consent Teachers Association of Ghana?
Is that
during
him?
the 2016 period?
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
You know, he's famous for other things too, or he's known for other things too. You know, he works at Brew Marketing Consult, a company which has been in the media quite a bit in recent times. Well,
also a teacher.
Also a teacher. Look at that. Imagine that. So, well done to them. Today we'll talk all about it, you know, and what it means now that this election is over, what's the future holding for Ayawaso West Wogon, but also, more importantly, what do we do after the violence we saw yesterday? I mean, a member of parliament has been assaulted. What processes will that trigger, and how will that be dealt with in a parliament where the majority belongs to the political party that is opposite the party of the one who was attacked?
We'll have in the studio Joe Jackson, and we'll also be looking at the analysis of it. Dr. Ali Seidu, Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, will be joining us, and a marketing lecturer and somebody who consulting political marketing and communication, Dr. Kobe Mensah of the University of Ghana Business School, will also be joining us.
That's right. Hopefully, Roland, you'll get to speak to some of the those who didn't make it to the finishing post and hear from them as well. As the election observers, Codeo has already spoken about the violence. We'll talk about the election itself as well and how it went. We'll speak to our reporters who covered the event, Kwesi Parker Wilson, Joseph Akable, Maxwell Agbagba, and our very own Daddy Roro as well.
Okay, and please remember, the hashtag is still on, bring back our tardy girls. The girls still have not been returned to the home, so we're hoping that when we keep the advocacy on, we'll get them back to their parents. And the police also will get some great insight, and conclusively, they will come to an end as far as the investigations are related to some of these kidnappings, if not all.
Absolutely. And while we're being distracted by the politicians and all of their shenanigans, let's not forget that there are families missing their daughters. And there's a 5-year-old child whose left arm has been amputated because of his own stepmother. We need to talk about these important issues as well. And there's some good news for that boy, by the way. An NGO has agreed to get him an artificial arm.
Prosthesis. Wow. So later, the nominees for the 3 music awards, they would also be unveiled right here in the studio, as we have the organizers of the event coming onto the show to just run us by what they have in store for this year's package. And then we'll wrap up with some great entertainment. It's brought to you by Awake Purified Water. AMC, as always, will be at the latter end of the show.
That's right. But it's time now for another message from the morning man.